Welcome back to my channel. My name's Laura Watson, and in this video I'm going to show you how I am going to create my own country diary this year inspired by Edith Holden. Hey everyone, I thought I would show you my process for starting my own country diary. This is a nature sketchbook like the one Edith Holden created, and this year I'm at home with my son on maternity leave, so I thought I would try to do a little bit of a country diary myself. I'm not sure how much I'll get done because he does take lots of time, which I'm happy to do for staying home with my beautiful baby boy. But this is the title page, and because I don't have a lot of time for drawing and layout, I've actually been doing my layout in Photoshop and then just transferring it by graphite transfer into my sketchbook because it's the quickest way I can just start getting painted. So I did hand letter this lettering, and then I scanned it and put it into Photoshop so I could center it and get it positioned on my page. And I'm using a 6x6 watercolor journal by Speedball with fluid paper in it. I'll show you more once I do the top-down screening. But this is the title page. I'll later add in more like botanical paintings as well. And then I have a January page already done. And then this is going to be the second January page. So I've made a 6x6 square. And then I've left a little bit of a margin here for where the spiral binding is. And then my goal is to just sort of document the plants and everything around here where we are staying right now. We live in our tiny home, our renovated RV. We made it into a tiny home. And so right now we're at this beautiful site next to the ocean, and there's all these paths and trails, and there's quite a few plants still out and about in January, even though it is snowing right now. So these are some of the things, these two, the berries and the hellebore, before it snowed, even though the hellebore is kind of wilted down on the ground. And then yesterday I went for a snowy walk with the baby stroller in the snow and found this ivy. So basically I take a picture of it where it is, or I pick a piece and bring it home and put it against a white background and take a picture. And then I just sort of cut it out with the lasso tool in Photoshop. I'll just show you. You just use your mouse. You could use like a drawing tablet too. I have one, but again, I don't have time to do anything precise besides my painting. Then you just copy or cut that and then paste it into your other document. And then I resized it and positioned it. So now I have a layout that I think will fit, that I like for my second page for January. And I will be making little notes as well. I'm not sure about the hellebore. I really love hellebore, but it's hard to tell with the picture. I think if I just curve the stem a little when I'm drawing it, it will look better. And then just define this bottom area of the petal. So sometimes I change things a little bit, and then I'm just going to put in brackets wilted from the cold so that the positioning is understandable. And that's the point of making the sort of country diary anyway. So yeah, I'm excited to share this with you. My goal is to show you each month what I'm up to, and I'm hoping I can at least do one page since I am home almost all the time, especially now in the snow. But we'll see what we can create here and share with you guys. So before I go, I'm just going to show you my materials and a flip through of what I've done so far. So these are my Raphael Kolinsky sable brushes, which is what I use for most of my botanical paintings. I have a number 2, 4, and 00. This one's worn out, so I need to get a new one, but I'm using that for now. Most of my paints are Holbein watercolor paint, artist quality. I do have some Winsor & Newton and Daniel Smith as well. All of my paints come in tubes, and then I've made my own palette. I do have a video on this. I'll link it in the description below. This is my color chart that I made of all of my paints. So I bought this palette empty, and then I squeeze the tubes into the pans, and I find it's the best way to be efficient with your space, have them laid out nicely, and also be able to get nice concentrated colors, and then I mix them on the palette. This is a really cool Galaxy palette. I got this off Amazon, empty, and I love it. It brings me so much joy. So I have a smaller one as well, but that's my bigger one. So my paints, my palette, my brushes, and then of course the sketchbook. This is really important because when you start off with watercolor painting, you might want to cheap out on the paper. The paper is so crucially important. Even now, I have years of experience, I've taught many classes, and if I don't have proper paper, I can't create the quality of painting that I like. So this is a field watercolor journal by Speedball, and it has Fluid brand watercolor paper in it. It's 24 sheets, cold pressed, 140-pound paper. This is their smallest one. It's 6 by 6. I didn't actually plan to use this one. I was going to use the 7 by 10, but the store that I buy them at locally here was out of that size. So, and then I realized I have a baby. I'm pretty busy. So I'm just going to try and do a very small project for this year, because I always start a project and then never end up finishing it, just because I get busy, and when I'm not on maternity leave, I have a full-time day job. Anyway, this was, I think, $27 Canadian. And okay, baby. Hi. He's having a little nap in the snuggly on me right now, so just hoping that he can stay sleeping while I do this. So here's my title page. I've done this in waterproof ink, the Micron waterproof pens. So you could use black like I did, or sepia might be nice too. I could have thought of that, and it would have been more like the Edith Holden book. But anyway, this is my hand lettered lettering I transferred on just because I wanted to get all the spacing correct. It's, I don't know, hard for me to do. Maybe you can do it easier. So yeah, I printed this off from that Photoshop document and then scribbled the back of the paper with pencil and then transferred it on and went over in ink. Then I will add in illustrations as the year goes by. So I'll go back to that Photoshop document, put in the pictures and the layout that I like, and then transfer it on and paint them. It's just the easiest way for me to do it. I have lots of experience in Photoshop. You could try Canva as well, if you don't have a graphic design program. So here's my first page. I just did a little handwritten sort of introduction on the back of this page of my intent for the project and where I'm at. Oh, you're okay, baby boy. You're okay. So this is January, my title page. I hand lettered this and then I painted it in with some brown paint. And then these are 3 things that I've found on my walks so far. So I take my baby in his stroller and we walk around. It's a really big site here. We go down to the water. There's an estuary and just all the paths along the site. So found some hazelnut catkin, snowberry, and actually a black huckleberry bush, and I found one tiny little berry still remaining on it in January. So I'll just zoom in on this for you. These videos are going to be a little less edited than my other videos, but I realized I'm such a perfectionist with editing that I never end up posting as much as I'd like to. So here we go. So yeah, this is the first page. I'm hoping to do at least 1 to 2 pages for each month. I have that next page laid out, which I'm going to put here. And then with the back of this page, I'm just going to put like the number and then something about that day. So quite like the Edith Holden book, which I do have right here. And I love this book. I will never ever get tired of it. So she has some big layouts, but then, let's see here. She also just does like a number and then write something. So I'm going to do this similar thing in my book and then have the names of the plants as well. So yeah, we'll see how this turns out. I don't think these are like the easiest sketchbooks to find online. I have a online school and a group that I teach, and they've not all had the easiest time finding this brand of sketchbook, but I do highly recommend it. If you can't find the sketchbook, you could just get a pad of the fluid paper as well. Or if you want to spend more money, my other paper I love is the Arches cold pressed 140-pound paper, but it's just more expensive. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you tune in on this and follow me along on this project. Again, there are links in the video description below on how you can sign up for my email list, where you'll get all the notifications and updates and pictures of this project, and I'll see you in my next video.